This is Andi Purewal for Boxing Social in association with Betfred, and I'm delighted to join by Francis Warren here in London. Francis, how are you doing?
I'm very well, thanks, mate. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. It's good to catch up, obviously, as we've spoken off camera. We've been trying to tie in for a couple of months, haven't been able to, so I'm glad we're able to do so now ahead of tomorrow night. Tomorrow night, Louis Lynn versus Amin Johanzeb, the headline fight. Straight into it, what do you expect from it?
Fireworks. I think, if you go off, what Louis Lynn brings, which is relentless pressure, ferocious pace he sets for throughout his fights, and when he won the title back in March, it was I wasn't surprised to see him. Obviously, wasn't surprised to see him win, but it was a surprise to see how well he did in terms of against such an experienced opponent, and how confident he was. Just going into it, he didn't take a backward step the whole fight, and. For me, I think Amin's probably taken this a bit too soon, and I think he maybe underestimates Louis and maybe thinks he's a bit of a one-trick pony. However, it's a complete clash of styles, isn't it? And it's that old adage is boxing, in boxing that styles make fights. Amin's never lost a round, and he probably thinks he can outbox and outslick Louis. But I think one thing with Louis is you'll have to pin him to the floor to stop him. And I think it would take someone with tremendous power and tremendous accuracy to cause Louis problems. So if Amin thinks he's the guy to do it, then good luck to him. But what I do know is it was going to be a great fight. Two young fighters who are stepping up to the plate, both with us, both with Queensbury. I manage Louis, so I'll be firmly in Louis' corner. But good luck to Amin, and may the best man win.
The first show of your prospect series, as it were. How big of an opportunity is this for both guys, and obviously in your case for Louis to have a bit of a breakout statement, especially headlining on BT as well? Well,
it's great exposure for the guys, and that's what these shows are designed to do. It's to give some extra exposure to fighters that otherwise may be in, and also you can get these youngsters experience to topping bills, to being involved in title fights at a slightly earlier stage. And it's not to say anyone's being rushed. It's just to give them that confidence to know that when they do get called upon for a big fight, they've been there, they've done it. It's just all they've got to focus on then is their opponent, and not worry about the pressures of added media attention or the fact that they are topping bills. It's a kind of been there, done it situation, and I think it gives them tremendous preparation for the next level up, or even the next two levels up. I think BT have really contributing to the future of British boxing, and you can only commend them for doing that.
Mark Chamberlain has been moved from what was due to be the Saturday show onto this card. I'm looking forward to seeing him back out. Obviously, we've got that budding rivalry between him and Sam Nooks. Is this a chance for him to try to do one better than what Sam has done recently?
It'll be tough to do it, because Sam's performed tremendously in his last two performances, two outings. But that's what Mark's. I don't think Mark's going into this trying to outdo Sam Nooks, and in the same way Sam doesn't go in there to try and outdo what Mark done. They want, every fighter wants to make a statement, and you're right. There is a budding rivalry, but it is just a budding rivalry at the moment. It's something that we're going to let bloom and blossom, keep it horticultural. But that fight in a year and a half, year for the British, year and a half, maybe European sort of level. But these two guys can keep bumping into each other over the course of their careers. It hasn't all got to happen straight away, and I think both guys will want to get experience in to give their best performance against each other when it does eventually happen. Sam was out twice in 2 weeks over the summer, and I'm sure he will be at ringside on Friday, tomorrow night, keeping an eye on Mark. But there's certainly no bad blood between the guys. They're both very respectful of each other at the moment. They've both got a good big set of fans as well. So when they do get it on, the atmosphere is going to be great. I think the next step would probably to get them both on the same card a few times, just to see that maybe cross over some similar opponents, and so you've really then got some direct comparisons to make. However, both guys are on their own course, on their own path, and I hope one day it does cross.
Callum Johnson, Joe Gallaghers charge. Very good amateur pedigree, 1-0 for now in the pro ranks. What are you expecting to see from him tomorrow night?
Well, he made his debut a couple of weeks ago, and obviously this is a prospect show, and he certainly is a fantastic prospect. Joe doesn't have any guys in his gym who aren't up to of the highest quality, and Joe's time is obviously being invested into young Callum, and I'm sure that we'll see why tomorrow night.
Now, of course, there was that disappointing news about 2 or 3 days ago that the Sonny Edwards show had been cancelled due to Sonny, unfortunately, injuring his ankle. Just get kind of your thoughts on it. How disappointing and frustrating is it, especially only a matter of days away from what would have been fight night?
Of course, it's disappointing. None more so for anyone than for Sonny Edwards in what would have been his first defence of his world title. That punch perfect performance he put in last time to win the world title. I'm sure he wanted to build on that and show everyone what that he does belong at world level, which we all know, and but it's that first defence is always that, it probably was almost maybe the sweetest moment when you know that title is securely it's securely yours, and it wasn't just a performance that it's a consistency of a performance that I think these guys are looking for more than anything. He's done all the hard work, Sonny, as had all the guys that were on the show on Saturday. Andrew Robinson against Denzel Bentley, Callum Johnson as well. But they'll be rescheduled, and of the rest of the 6 or 7 fights on that undercard, I think we've managed to place rehome 4 of them already. So there's only 2 more that we've got to do. So not everybody's fight camps are wasted. But it is what it is, boxing. It's a rolled ankle and a postponement. That's it.
One person in particular who I'm sure the British boxing fans will be disappointed for, especially, is Callum Johnson. Through no fault of his own, he hasn't been as active as what we'd have liked to see over the last few years. What will be the plan for him, and how has he taken the news of his fight not going ahead?
He's been an absolute dream about it. Said it is what it is. He's obviously disappointed, but it's not like he's been taken off the bill and replaced by somebody else. That it's not happening. So you can't. He's just said, get me out quick, and that's what we'll do. He'll be out shortly. He's our war horse. He said to me, I just saw him earlier on. He said he had a bit of a day of treating himself with a bit of grub yesterday, which he's well entitled to. But he's back on it now. I think I've just seen him on his way to the gym next door to the hotel. So he'll be out soon, and just continue to get the ball rolling with him again.
Let's stick with the lot of heavyweights, Francis. Obviously, there was just a few reports and rumours coming out that Lyndon Arthur versus Arthur-Yarde 2 will no longer take place on October 9th. Just get an update from you as to where things currently stand with that, and what did you make of those rumours or reports?
No major update. The contracts, it's a contracted fight, and we'll have some news on it next week.
Are you confident we see that fight go ahead on October 9th?
You'll know next week.
Francis, as well, moving forward, we saw Tyson Fury doing a media day, I believe it was yesterday. Just get your thoughts on kind of Tyson's spirits and how he's looking ahead of his October 9th trilogy bout with Deontay Wilder.
He looks happy, doesn't he? He looked very, very happy yesterday, and he's actually, he looked, he welcomed everyone with open arms. Spoke very well and looks in great shape. It's got to have been, very, we're just talking about postponement this week. No one knows about that more than Tyson. But obviously he's gone back to Morecambe and done most of his training camp there. And it shows in his demeanour. He looks very, very happy man. And I spoke to my dad just when he was on his way back, and he said he's very happy to be up in Morecambe with him. And he seems in a very good place, Tyson. He's definitely a man with a plan, isn't he? What was it? Dillian, AJ, Derek. Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah, keeping it home, keeping it British. So, listen, it's a good plan. Let's hope everyone steps up to the plate who's been asking for a share of dinner.
Dillian Whyte one was an interesting one to hear. He said that for December time, obviously it's only a couple months after he would end up fighting Deontay Wilder. Do you think it's realistic, first and foremost, the fight could be agreed, obviously promotional issues aside, and because of the distance between the October 9th date and any date in December?
Listen, if Tyson Fury seems to be a guy who, when he sets his mind to doing something, it gets done. So if he comes through October the 9th unscathed and in as dramatic fashion as he did against Deontay last time out, then December's feasible, isn't it? So you'll see. He's not. Tyson's not not going to be looking past anybody, I wouldn't have thought. However, it's good to have a plan. It's good to set your goals, and he certainly set his stall out yesterday with the list of fights that he wants to happen in the next 12 to 15 months.
But Dillian fought. is that one which we would expect to see in the UK?
You'd hope so, wouldn't you? You'd assume so. Tyson's a draw wherever he goes, so he can fight on the moon. I'm sure people would turn up. However, it's a great homecoming fight for him in the UK. It would do some great numbers, and if it's going to be a stadium fight in December, there's only one place that's got a roof. So see you there, Cardiff. But listen, if it's a stadium, that it has to go there indoors. If not, you go to the next biggest place, which I would have thought was Manchester, isn't it? So which we'll see. But you got to take care of Deontay Wilder first. So let's all get behind our man, our WBC world champion, and keep rooting for him, because he's an absolute treasure. I think he's fantastic for the sport.
Sorry, Matt, I was going to say, just before I let you go, Tommy Fury obviously made his American debut recently, beating Anthony Taylor on points. A lot of talk as to whether or not that'll set up a bout with Jake Paul. Your thoughts? Do we see that next for Tommy?
I think the more it gets talked about, I don't know if Jake Paul might disappear. Do you see what I mean? It's kind of like, I think, seeing Tommy up close and personal, he didn't seem to be too happy about it in that corridor. Our man Dev out there, he's getting away pretty sharpish. But listen, if it happens, it'd be a great spectacle. It'd be a great event. It'd be great for Tommy. It'd be really good for Tommy. And I think Tommy's a boxer, and Jake Paul's, fair play to him, he's a fighter. And I think there's a huge gulf in class, but in terms of popularity and commercial value, it's a huge fight. So, hope it happens for Tommy.
Francis, we'll leave that there now, because I know the Wayne's probably only about 10 minutes away from starting, so I appreciate your time. Enjoy the rest of your day. Thanks for speaking to Boxing Social.
Cheers, mate. Cheers, mate.